Question of the day today is not about business. It's about something personal, something very personal. The question is, how did you meet Jake, my husband, and how did you know he was the one? Let's talk about it. So I'm gonna do my makeup and talk about this question. All right, here we go. Jake and I actually met in high school. We didn't go to the same high school, but Jake's best friend went to my high school. I remember his best friend telling me that I should meet Jake, that I would really like him. This was before social media. This was before cameras were on phones. It's weird to think about a time like this, but when he talked about his friend, I was like, I don't want to meet your friend. So I don't know what he looks like. I don't know anything about him. You couldn't stalk him somewhere. Just like a full, like for real, actual blind date. And so I was like, no. I had said no, but Jared had a party at his house, probably when his parents weren't there. And Jake was there. And I remember meeting him very briefly. Do remember thinking he was super cute and funny. But of course, in true teenage girl fashion, I was crying at this party. So I didn't really interact with Jake much. He remembers me, probably not in a great way, but I didn't really get a chance to like talk to him. So we'll pretend like that wasn't the first meeting, okay? Let's pretend. I remember arriving to another friend's house, again, probably when their parents weren't there. They had a really long dining table. Everybody was gathered around this dining table when I first got in. There weren't enough chairs. I remember Jake saying, you can share a chair with me. I think I told him, like, I'm not gonna sit on your lap. I'm not like that. He was like, that's fine. And he scooted like half off this chair. And so we both shared half of this chair. We were clearly in our own little world. It felt like a movie montage to me. If you could picture Jake and I just sitting in one place and everything else is kind of moving and fast forward around us. We never got up out of this seat. We were just interested in what each other had to say. So it gets even more romantic from here, which is why I want to pretend that this was our first meeting. I tell Jake, you know what, I think I'm gonna head out. And I go to get up to leave and he gets up too. He tells me that he's leaving as well. I hope you're not leaving because of me. And he said, I wanted to leave hours ago. The only reason I stayed was you. I was like, oh my God, this is so romantic. He walked me to my car and he kissed me for the first time. Just remember it's high school. We're both kind of too cool for school. So we didn't become boyfriend and girlfriend right away. We dated other people. We still managed to find time to hang out with each other as friends. And as time went on, I thought that's just what we were and that's where we were gonna stay, was friends. Just remembered something, my Jake timeline is off. The party where I was crying was not the first time I met Jake. A dinner. It was a couple's dinner before all that happened with Jake's best friend, but just as friends. He just didn't have a girlfriend at the time and he was like, hey, can you come with me? Everybody's coupled up. I get to the dinner. I sit down next to Jake. His girlfriend at the time said, you are not sitting next to some girl I don't know, and made him get up and switch places so that I was sitting next to her and that I wasn't sitting next to Jake. And I can't believe I forgot this story, because when I think about this story, at that moment, I thought she was absolutely nuts, which, by the way, she was absolutely nuts, but she was right. She knew. Something in her said, I don't like this. And she was right. I saw him at the dinner, which, by the way, they fought the entire dinner. Then the next time we were in the same place, I was crying at a party. Also not a good look for me. So not a good look for Jake, not a good look for me. And then finally, it was the party where we shared a chair, which was like our first like actual interaction. I also have a great memory with Jake that I think is important in finding the one. We all went to see Mr. and Mrs. Smith as a group, like a huge friend group, all went together. I remember leaving the theater and everyone that saw it, all the friends were like, that was amazing. That was the best movie ever. And I remember turning to Jake and saying, did we watch the same movie? Because I thought it was lame. Like, it was not the best movie in the world. And Jake felt the exact same way. And so we bonded right away over hating this movie. If you have a similar taste in things, or if you laugh at the same jokes, oftentimes when we watch movies, we'll laugh at the same part. Like the same part kind of strikes us as funny. Angelina, that homewrecker. I remember another very romantic moment. We went out to dinner, and I remember him telling me that he broke up with his girlfriend. And I remember asking him why, and he said, because I've always been in love with you. That really was it. That moment was the moment where we were just always together. I moved into his house with him, but it wasn't like an official been together kind of conversation. I remember him saying to me, you know, you should just bring things here because you're always here. And that was kind of the move-in talk. Jake and I have lived together since I was 19 years old. I think knowing if you have the one, all the steps just naturally progress. You don't have to force anything. It wasn't like an ultimatum of like, oh my gosh, either I'm moving in or I'm gonna move on, or there were never talks like that ever. We were long distance for a long time. He started spending half the week in Las Vegas and then half the week in Los Angeles. Right around the time that Laura and I started Mel, everything just got really, really crazy. He came out here and he was helping with everything here, and then he was just permanently here, thank God. Jake and I met when I was probably 16. We were officially like boyfriend and girlfriend together when I was 19. He didn't propose till, oh my gosh, I don't even know. Was it like 5 years ago? Together for 15 years. I don't even know how long we've been married. Actually got married a few months later, just at the courthouse. No relationship is perfect, but to stick together for 15 years, I mean, we're clearly doing something right. Have to make a choice to grow together, because the person that I am now is not the same person that I was at 19. I would hope. I would hope I have evolved since being 19 years old. I would hope I'm not the exact same person. I think laughter is also really important in finding the one. If you can laugh together, like really, really laugh together, I think it makes such a huge difference. For Jake and I, it's always like the little things that obviously need work, and it's not effortless. But the big stuff, the really big stuff, has been effortless. So of course we get into little fights and things are annoying and we have to work on things, but they're not big things. They're not big arguments about like money or children or how do we parent. Those values we feel very similarly about. I didn't expect this to be so dramatic today. For Jake and I, we definitely have the big long-term goals in mind of what's important, what we care about. Jake really is my best friend, and obviously you can't have a marriage on just best friendship. But he really is my best friend, the love of my life, the only person I've ever loved, the only person I will ever love. Very thankful that I found him so young. I absolutely did not have my heart set on I have to marry somebody, or I have to have a family, or I have to have kids in order to feel complete. I was not focused on any of those things at all. And I think when you're young, you shouldn't be focused on those things. You should be focused on yourself. It's the time to be selfish. I feel very fortunate that I found someone who I truly care about and truly cares about me at 19 years old. It's pretty incredible. I don't take that for granted at all. And we have a beautiful daughter, obviously, Johnny Rose, who is literally the best thing that has ever happened to me. So thank you, Jake, because I couldn't have done it without you. Without Jake, too, I wonder if I would have ever had children, because that's not something that was a burning desire for me. There are some people that know that's what they want. They always know that. And I didn't feel like that. And I wasn't 100% sure, but Jake was 100% sure, and I was 100% sure about him. Now, obviously, I could not imagine my life without her. I think I would have been incomplete without her. I'm gonna cry, but I'm very thankful for her. I'm very thankful for Jake. And I think you know you have the one when you can't picture your life without them. That's how you know. Okay, now I'm gonna do my lips. Okay, here's my super dramatic look that I didn't expect to be so dramatic, but it is. Question of the day. As always, if you have questions for me, please reach out, leave them in the comments. Okay, that's it. And this liner I'm loving.